Free movement is a two-way freedom. It's different from what most people think of as migration because it is reciprocal. If somebody comes to work in the UK, yes, they have certain rights, but equally, if I choose to go and work in another of the EU member states, I also have those same rights. It's reciprocal, it works two ways.
I myself am someone who moved from one part of the European Union to another, and this is not something that you do easily. People who do that, they do that for a reason, and they're not being selfish. They want to build their lives and they want to contribute to a place, and they want to do that in a place where they feel they can make the most of their skills, and that's why they go to another country.
So if we didn't have freedom of movement, if people weren't allowed to come here at all from other EU member states, then probably what you would find is that British people who live in other EU member states would have to come back to Britain.
We talked about in Parliament as numbers, as a graph or a statistic or a red line, and that incenses me. You know, we are human beings, we are people, we're not a number.
We have a significant number of doctors working here who come from other EU member states. A lot of those are in rural practices where it's very difficult to recruit GPs.
It's almost impossible to comprehend the level of misery and hardship that we're going to be facing. So we really need to confront this issue, not just from an economic perspective or a political perspective, but from a human perspective.
London has 100,000 registered couples, people from different EU countries living here. If suddenly one part of that couple loses their residence rights here, what happens to you and your family?
I'm particularly determined to make sure that young people who voted so strongly to stay as members of the European Union don't have their rights diminished as a result of our leaving, and that they can continue to travel, to study and to work right across Europe.
What we're seeing already is a massive decline for international students, both EU and non-EU, to come and study in the UK, and that has huge impacts not only to the economy but also to how students learn and the friendships that they form.
The Erasmus programme lets people study in other universities abroad, which not only helps language and cultural skills, but there could also be different approaches to how people actually learn things in different countries that can then benefit people to come back to Britain and invigorate our workforce as well.
The idea that we're getting freedom and control by closing off who we can live with and where we can go to live ourselves is absolutely absurd.
So it's really important now that we have a clear signal that in the UK we're prepared to defend the rights of EU nationals who are currently living here, and we will also work to defend the rights of UK nationals who are living elsewhere in the European Union.